Again, under a settlement agreement, the parties agreed that the house would be sold after the youngest child reaches emancipation, graduates from high school or joins the military or gets married. And at that time, the house would be transferred to the mother and the funds would be transferred to the husband. What occurred was somehow, in the period of time when the child had not yet emancipated, the title transferred from husband to wife. Husband says, I wasn't part of the closing. I wasn't there. I didn't know the title changed. My wife says, you were there. The notary was there. He saw you sign. So now he's saying it's a forgery, right? As a real estate professional, you're saying, okay, is this good title? What do I do? What happens? Does that happen? Does that ever happen? In this situation, mysteriously, the notary and his number is gone. We can't connect the number to the person, and the person cannot be found. So we have a title to a property transferring husband's ownership interest to wife. Husband says, I wasn't there, I didn't sign this was not my signature. Wife says, yes, you were there, here are the witnesses, and your signature was notarized. By the way, one of the witnesses is her relative. So, what do you think? What is his remedy? He has to file for a quiet title. He's got to say, hey, this title is no good. There's a criminal element to this case. You know, did she participate in forgery? There's actually a statute, there's a part of the statute that specifically addresses when a spouse uses forgery in any way of their spouse in acquiring property. So the court is ready with that. So if you point to that and you say, you know, Your Honor, here it is. It says, if forgery is used in this case, the court can do equity on the fairness of the stuff that is to be distributed. So in this situation, wife is being, possibly going to be investigated criminally. The notary is going to be, the person who signed, there's going to be an attempt to try to locate that person. And so here, in this situation, there were some real estate professionals involved at the time of signing, right, of that title, and that could be, quite a disaster for you, not knowing that maybe people were placed, it were put in place to create this, rouge to transfer property. So it's really important that you ask the right questions, really get to know what's going on with the clients, making sure that they're married, making sure you know whether or not there's a divorce pending, because the house purchased before the divorce is filed and the house purchased after that divorce is filed is a whole, big issue before you. So those are some of the tips that I have for you. This is how that really impacts the other. If you are working with a family that's involved in a case, get in touch with the lawyers, find out all the little details as much as you can to make sure it's a clean transition and a clean transaction.